DonInLondon, hello. It's August 16th, 2009, just after 10:30 in the morning, Sunday morning, so I'm taking it easy. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My substance, alcohol; my behaviour, workaholic, gymaholic, relationshipaholic, you name it, trying to be perfect. If I wasn't trying to be perfect doing one of those things, I've tried to be perfect doing all of those things. And in the end I got found out, and what I did, I found myself out. I had a breakdown, or a meltdown, or a breakthrough, you name it. It could be called anything you like, but ultimately my life changed in so many different ways. And the gift these days is I find sobriety one day at a time, which makes anything possible and helps me get back in balance just for today. So the purpose of my videos is to share my experience, strength and hope on what is working for me. And I do refer to other outside agencies or fellowships in my videos simply because they helped me get sober. So outside forces, family, community, society, professional people, medical people, and a fellowship which makes the whole thing possible on a daily basis for me, and that's Alcoholics Anonymous. So I make no apology, I'm part of it, and it's a great fellowship and it keeps me on track. So whilst I can talk about my recovery, I don't talk about anybody else's particularly or specifically, because AA is about anonymity to find truth for me, and anonymity affords a sanctuary to find out what the truth is. So for many years I was in denial about my drinking and also my behaviour, which was trying to be whatever you wanted me to be. So ultimately you would leave me alone behind the facade of a brave face, fear and ego. And these days I've transformed less brave facing, less ego and less fear for more courage, faith and confidence, that is. So AA is instrumental in my recovery, and especially the unique, authentic people who are part of the program. Indeed, everybody is unique and authentic, and it's a daily bit of progress to find out who we are as we go along and experience life. And we're not trying to get over life or get round something. It's to meet life head on as it is. So unashamedly, I share about AA and how it helps me, but I do not share or speak for the fellowship, because it has one primary purpose, and I'll share how that is. At every meeting there is a preamble or statement of intent, even a mission statement in modern language. And it goes like this: Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And in the first sentence of the second paragraph, where it says, the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking, that is it. And our primary purpose, the last sentence, our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety, sums up why I do these videos. So it's part of my personal journey, like a journal, and it's also about sharing a message of hope. Hope that we can find sobriety even when we have become addicted. And maybe we only get a one-day reprieve, but indeed if we are living in the day and experiencing it without alcohol. I'm getting forgetful again. I've had a bit of a day or two trying to put my Windows operating system back together, so I'm running on very basic programs rather than the more sophisticated ones which blew my system up. Or was it me? I don't know. Anyway, the gift is, it's Sunday morning. I've had the opportunity, I've been rung up by my mother, and she's very well, heading towards 80. And my brother, who is not heading towards 80, but is back with his family from a very good holiday in Florida, and that's great. So, you know, part of family again. And the gift for me, although I'm a single person, is I do share with family. I have family members who are now willing to include me in their lives, when in fact I've become a complete horror and unworthy, in my own opinion, of living, let alone anything else. So in the darkest days of my addiction, mainly fear drove me. I couldn't open the front door, I couldn't answer the telephone, I couldn't open letters. And it got worse, to the point of being homeless. And the gift of that was to be able to be in the gutter, looking up at the rest of the world and still judging it, whilst the world was just seeing me as I was. The reality of me was pretty awful, and I couldn't stand it. And I would have preferred not to wake up many a day. So these days it's different, and what's happened since I got into recovery? Well, normal things have happened. I've got older, and 53 last Friday, which is great. When, in fact, I never thought I'd get past 40, or 48, because life got so hard. And I made it worse. Not because I wanted to, because the difficulty with addiction is people who don't have it feel that you can stop drinking on self-will, or willpower alone. And the answer is, if we were able to do that, we would never be an addict. So what is the question? How does one become an addict? It's repetitive behaviour and attitudes developed by drinking or drugging, or behaviour which makes us want to keep on doing it. So there is no off switch in the end, and we're striving and striving to stop, and we're striving and striving to be okay, and we hide behind the mask of a brave face. So these days I prefer not to have a brave face and let the world in, and also stop judging the world and being, I suppose, sad that life has turned out this way. Life is just the way it is, and the gift is if we can live the day as it is and be happy and do something useful and have people in our lives who care about us and we care about them too, we're on the right path. And here I share daily reflections, which is all about the 12-step action program that AA offers as a way forward for people. So the 12-step action program, all about attitude and behavioural change. 12 steps in 12 months in the year, so the 8th month is the 8th step, which is all about making a list of people we've harmed. And for August 16th in this book it said, I have dropped out. We might next ask ourselves what we mean when we say we have harmed other people. What kinds of harm do people do one another anyway? To define the word harm in a practical way, we might call it the result of instincts in collision with which cause physical, mental, emotional or spiritual damage to people. And it goes on to say, I've been to 8th step meetings, always thinking I haven't really harmed many people, mostly myself. But the time came when I wrote my list out, and it was not as short as I thought it would be. I either liked you, disliked you, or needed something from you. It was that simple. People hadn't done what I wanted them to do, and intimate relationships were out of hand because of my partner's unreasonable demands. Were these sins of omission? Because of my drinking, I had dropped out, never sending cards, returning calls, being there for other people, or taking part in their lives. What a grace it has been to look at these relationships, to make my inventories in quiet, alone with the God of my understanding, or good conscience, and to go forth daily with a willingness to be honest and forthright in my relationships. And the thing about that really is that we can become more honest, open and willing. And that's what it is about the 12 steps, to be more open, honest and willing. And the 8th step, all about the people we have harmed, and also ourselves along the way in an emotional, spiritual or physical way. It becomes a bit of a surprise. I thought my list was short, just as it says there in the book, but in fact it got longer the more I realised how my life had turned out over the years. But the gift is, we do our best at any time in our lives. We're just trying to do our best, and so is everybody else. And sometimes we fall short of our own understanding of how life can be. And the tragedy when we have that sadness is that we use drink to the point of oblivion and addiction, or drugs to the same extent. The gift, though, for me these days is simply keep it in the day. And there is a meditation or a prayer of serenity to God, or of your understanding, or good conscience, or whatever it may be. And it goes like this: God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, and it is always just for today.